what we gotta watch, what we gotta watch. Paul Match TV. What we gotta watch, what we gotta watch, what we gotta watch. Paul Match TV. What we gotta watch, what we gotta watch, what we gotta watch. Paul Match TV. What we gotta watch, what we gotta watch, what we gotta watch. Paul Match TV. What we gotta watch, what we gotta watch. Yeah, buddy, that's right. Get exposure right now. Holler at the homie Paul Match, man, for Paul Match TV. Hit up Paul Match TV across all social media sites, alright? Who we got next? Got next.
Well, hello there. It's Paul Mash TV time once again, and we're glad that you could join us for yet again another episode. And I think we got a great episode for you coming up here in just a moment. But before we do, we just wanted to thank once again everybody who has sent us feedback and enjoyed the videos and so forth. And if you're one of those people that haven't contacted us yet, there's a couple ways to do it. You can go to facebook.com/Paul Mash TV, which is our official Paul Mash page. And you're welcome to like the page and inboxes. You can even contribute to the interview itself by replying and tell us what you think. And if you have email, which everybody does, you can do that by going to paulmashtv, all one word, @gmail.com. And we love to hear from you. And again, as always, it's not just for fans. If you're an artist or a band that wants to be on the show, you can use that same email. And we'll respond back and we'll go from there. And make sure you subscribe here if you're watching us on YouTube, and click the bell and you'll get the latest interviews whenever they become available. And you can even reply to the interview in question. We love to hear from you. And if you missed any of that, don't worry about it. We have a closing credit screen, so stay tuned for that. That'll give you a chance to get a pen and paper handy. And we'll see you soon. Right now, from Atlanta, Georgia, we have Nicky Bondz, a very talented hip-hop artist. And I'm sure you're going to like that interview. But before we do, let's have another quick word from Click Jam. Don't go away.
Click Jam, all around the world.
One thing I can't do is disappoint my fans. All the people around the world come and join the band. I said I'm happy as I ever been. When all the music comes together and it starts to blend.
All around the world.
All over the globe.
Well, hello there. It's interview time again, and from Atlanta, Georgia, we have Nicky Bondz. Thank you for joining us, Nicky.
Hey, anytime, man, anytime.
All righty. So let's start with the obvious question, and I ask this all the time, but why don't you let us know a little bit about what was it that made you decide to become a musician? I mean, I'm sure you have your own story. Everybody has their own story, so let me know.
Yeah, man. You know, growing up, I always had this creative passion for music. I was more of a big fan growing up. You know, I was raised, you know, I was born in 1990. I'm a 90s, you know, almost kind of an 80s baby. You know, I was raised in the era of real hip hop, of lyricism and storytelling, and Jay-Z and Biggie and Nas and Jadakiss and all those, you know, top guys that really influenced me. And I kind of envied them, just how talented they were. And at first, I never had confidence in myself. So I always would play behind the scenes. You know, when I was 17, 18, when I was first getting into music, I was, you know, trying to DJ and like do stuff like trying to find my niche. And, you know, the DJing thing didn't work. And then, you know, college happened and I got busy with school. And then I went on to greater things in school and ended up getting a master's degree, and, you know, went even further. Now I might be one of the only rappers that are going to have their PhD. So I think Dr. Dre is the only other rapper that's been awarded a PhD from a college. So I think I'm pretty, pretty different in that aspect for sure. You know, like I said, I always had the passion, and I overthink. I got the right group of people around me down here in Atlanta that, you know, I met about a year ago that ended up giving me the confidence to kind of, you know, take my passion to the next level and, you know, not overthink, you know, the creativity and just let it come from the heart and not try to, you know, fabricate lyrics and have the lyrics be organic and come from me and not try to sound like somebody I'm not. You know what I mean? And you know, I try to talk about my life experiences because I've been through a lot. You know, it's been an interesting road for me. You know, I'm in recovery for you know, when I was in my teens, you know, we had everybody knows in the country we had a pretty bad opiate epidemic with the whole, you know, Oxycontin crisis, and went through some struggles, and my father passed away while I was going through that as well. So that was in my late teens, early 20s, and I, you know, kind of like the Eminem thing where I was, you know, I was strung out and I, you know, went away and got clean and, you know, been good for 5 years now. My life's changed completely. Like I said, I'm about to have 2 graduate degrees, you know, and my music is kind of taken off. Thankfully, I've been releasing music since April, and I have already 300,000 streams, which I think is awesome for, I'm not trying to sound boisterous, I'm just trying to give you my background. You know, for someone who's independent, who doesn't really have a big budget, I don't have a record label behind me giving me a $500,000 advance and saying, here you go, invest this in your music. You know, this is all coming out of my pocket, and I'm a college kid that has to pay for a mortgage and lives on his own and has bills. So it's been really tough for me, you know, coming up. But in that same retrospect, I'm also shocked by how fast the growth has been in the last 3 months, because, you know, I feel like a lot of people in it, not just in rap, just in music in general, they think that they're going to be able to blow up just based off of their talent. And they don't understand that money makes money, right? Like you need to invest in your talent. You know what I'm saying? Like, people don't understand, in order for you to get your song on a major or a national radio station like New York at Hot 97 and all these other, you know, LA, these big radio stations, you know, if you want to get a record on there, you're paying 30 grand. You know, that's how the Cardi B's are on the radio, and the 6ix9ines got on the radio, because they're putting, you know, they get so big because they're paying so much money. And unfortunately, that's how the industry works, and that's how it's changed over the years. It's been, the last 5 years have been based less off of talent and more on who you know and how much money you have to put behind your camp and your team. And you know, I'm working with what I have. You know, it's like I said, it's not a major label budget, but you know, I'm throwing everything I got at my career, and if I got to go broke doing it, at least I could say I gave everything I got, and I won't have a regret in my life 20 years from now and look back and say, oh, I could have did something if I would have just gave that extra effort, you know?
Yeah, that's a pretty good story, and it seems like you're doing real well, even though you haven't been doing it for very long. So I'm sure everybody out there will be happy to listen to your music. And you had mentioned earlier in your answer that you were talking about your influences. I think you said Dr. Dre was one of them. Do you have any others that stand out in your mind?
Yeah, I grew up listening to Dre. His production is on another level. You know, I was raised on Eminem. I was raised on D12. You know, I was raised on also big New York rap, Jay-Z, Cameron, Jadakiss, Styles P, Fabulous. They, you know, newer guys that are my age that have been in the game for a little while, like Dave East. He's a really, really big right now. Just got signed to Def Jam by Nas. I was actually with him last weekend. I was blessed and got the opportunity to meet him and hang out with him and his family. And that was a really great opportunity for me, networking wise. It was his birthday party, so it was really cool for him to let me just be around him, because he didn't even really know me. I just knew a producer that he worked with, and he just let me kind of hang out with them, which was really cool because he's one of the highest demand rappers in the game right now. You know, and right now I have a pretty big song that I invested a lot of money in, with a pretty well-known OG from New York, a pretty well-known rapper who's been in the game for about 10 years now and has been consistently putting up numbers, and that's Mano. You know, Mano's had some real big hit records. If you go on Spotify, you know, he's got records with 50 million streams. So, you know, being able to get him on a record with me was surreal, you know, because he's somebody that I listened to in college 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's somebody I grew up to listening, and now I have the opportunity, due to my growth and my hunger, that, you know, people are actually starting to realize, you know, the commitment that I have to my craft and my music. And unfortunately, not everybody, like I said, a lot of people think that you're just going to make it off of talent, and you need, it's talent is, if you talk to any manager in a major label, they're going to tell you that this game tops is 20% talent, and the rest of it is all business. All marketing, advertising, connections, who you know, who the attorneys know, or it's all networking, you know? And, you know, it's kind of how life is everywhere. It's who you know, and, you know, you got to network and make your connections. And I've been slowly building a network, and that's how I was able to get Mano. And now I'm about to send a track over to Troy Ave, who's probably one of the biggest independent artists probably in the country. This is a guy who, you know, kind of very similar. I'm kind of modeling my situation based off of him, because he's kind of the mentor, or he embodies what a successful independent artist is. And when I mean in terms of successful, this man has millions of streams without a major label, and it's all on his own. And I'm close to that. And that's why, you know, I believe he sees that growth in me. And, you know, people, I feel like, are starting to get excited to work with me, just because of my energy. I'm a very positive guy. I believe in, you know, spiritual law of attraction, you know, positivity. You know, what you put out in the world is what you get back. And I'm gonna be honest with you, man, like, I've been dreaming about this stuff. Like, I've in my head every day. I don't know if you ever read the book The Secret, but, you know, that book tells you that you have to project success every day. You can't just say I want. You can't say I want a BMW. You're going to have to say I will have it. I will have that car. I will have a hit record with 20 million streams. I will do this. And when you have that boss mentality, it puts it out in the universe, and it comes back to you. So if you ever see people like some of these rappers that are getting arrested, right, for gun charges and murders, that's because they're in a negative space. They're doing negative things. They're involved in the streets. Like, I left that life like 5 years ago, man, and my life has been so much better out of the drug game, out of the street game, not getting in trouble, you know, I've come a long way, man. You know, and I got some scars in my body. I got some scars in my body to show it. So, you know, I was a little bit of a reckless adolescent, but, you know, now I'm almost 30 years old, grew up, matured, you know, kind of changed my whole just outlook on life. Been eating right, went to the gym, and it just gave me a huge boost in my confidence. And that's kind of what really gave me the energy and the spirituality to engage in music again. Because, like I said, I tried before when I was younger, but I wasn't in a good space mentally to create quality music. I wasn't healthy. And, you know, right now I'm in a really good place, and I'm making the best music of my life. And, you know, and the crazy thing is that it's only started, you know, this is only the beginning. And I'm so excited, man. You have no idea. Like, I can't even explain to you, like, my goals for this year. Let's put it this way. Every goal that I've had, this is part of what the book says. you got to project a goal in your head and constantly think about it every day, right? And for example, 3 months ago, I didn't even think I would have 1,000 streams on one song. 1,000. One of my songs has 200,000. I never would have thought a chance, cold day in hell. I never would have thought ever in my life that I would be able to get up that number. And now that it's achieved, in my head, I'm like, wow, I didn't think that 200K or 300K streams was possible, but now it was possible. So now my next goal is 1 million streams. And then when I hit that, it's going to be 10 million. And then it's going to be 20 and then 50. And that's kind of the mentality you have to have. You got to stay hungry, you know what I'm saying? Or you're just going to stagnate. You're going to stay at the same spot. And you're not going to be able to profit much money off of this industry, you know? And I got a lot of big ideas, a lot of big plans regarding music that's outside of actually rapping. I don't want to disclose those plans because they're pretty big ideas and I don't want people to steal them from me.
Right.
But I got some really big business ideas that might incorporate mental health awareness and hip hop, and maybe open up a rehab for some artists that are struggling with the drugs. So that's as much as I'm going to give you, though.
Okay. Well, those are pretty good influences, by the way, some of those you mentioned earlier. But let's focus a minute on your music. I mean, do you have any albums as far as that goes, or is it just songs, and where can you get them? I'm sure they're in digital format, but maybe you could let us know.
Yeah, for sure. So basically, you know, the new method of what I've seen and what I've kind of been told from some people that have been doing this for a lot longer than me is that since I'm not signed really to a major label yet, it's better to, and also just because of, I get data. Like what's great about Spotify is I get data. I get analytics every single day of how many streams of each song, what city it's coming from, what playlist it's coming from, etc. So I know my fan base and I know where they're at. Mm-hmm. And it helps me determine, you know, what direction I'm going. And in terms of, what was the second part of the question?
Well, I was just asking where you can download your music. I mean, is it like digital?
Gotcha. Yeah.
Physical copies?
So, okay, I'm sorry. I was so basically in terms, I've been basically, because I don't want to oversaturate the market with too much music, right? And that's what happens with a lot of artists. If you're a major label artist, it's different to drop albums with 15 songs on it. But if you're an independent artist, you know, you need to gain a following by putting out good record after good record. And sometimes when you drop an album, you have 15, 20 songs and only 6 songs out of the whole album are really hits. And the rest are just filling space, you know? So, you know, a lot of people I follow on Instagram that are super successful in the music industry have been saying this, have basically just when you're first starting to just release single after single after single until you gain a fan base. And once you gain some notoriety and maybe you have some labels looking at you, like I'm preparing my first album right now. I'm starting to stray away from just releasing singles. I've actually released 22 songs since February. So if you think about that, that's about 2 albums. So technically I have released albums. I'm just not putting a cover art with the songs saying that, okay, these 10 songs are whatever album. I'm just making music and just dropping a song every week just to keep the fans engaged, to let them know I'm active, to let them know I'm still working hard. You know, and I think that's a big difference between an up-and-coming artist and an artist that's been maybe in the game for 10, 15 years, who's financially comfortable, and they might not have to grind as hard anymore because they already put the work in, and their revenue flow is a lot higher than mine, so they can lay back and kind of go at a slower, smoother pace. For me, I'm at the level right now where I'm new. I have to prove something. Like, I can't just sit back and just take 6 months to make an album. Like that, I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? that's not going to get the engagement that I need right now. You know, unfortunately, 6ix9ine is in, you know, I don't know if you heard about 6ix9ine, but unfortunately, you know, he went down a bad route, you know, going to prison and everything. But he also did the same thing, and it got him super, super popular. He didn't release an album until like a year and a half into making music. He just released single after single after single after single. He released 12 straight singles, and then he released the Gumbo album or Dummy Boy, whatever album. And, you know, it took him a year and a half to get that done. But he kept releasing singles to keep the fans engaged while he was working on the album. And that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm working on my album right now, but I'm still putting out content just to let the fans know, like, hey, every week I'm gonna have something for you. And it's not like I'm rushing it either. You know, like I have my own studio in my house. You know what I'm saying? I have, you know, I got the whole setup here. I got every single thing I need, you know, and that's what's so great about it, is that all I gotta do is take 10 steps over from my bedroom and I'm in my studio, and I can make a song at any time I want. And that's one of the other main reasons why I'm able to make music so quick, because I have the access to it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, man, it's a lot.
Okay. Well, that's good that you're doing that like that. I mean, it helps, like you said, with the fan base, and I know that you've got quite a big fan base right now, and that's pretty good. Let me ask you another question. We're getting ready to play a song from you in a minute here. Can you tell us the name of the song and what the story is behind the song? We'd like to hear it.
Talking about Keep Me Right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's so that was a record that we kind of I don't want to say did on the fly, but you know, it was a record that we did so fast because it was just so smooth, just the beat, and like we wrote to that, like it literally took us 20 minutes to write that whole song. Like that's how much we felt the energy of that beat. And I feel like when you already get the creative juices flowing and then you really feel that beat, and the writing just comes so much easier. And we wrote that song in literally 20 minutes, and it's a hit. It's my biggest song right now. You know, it's gonna have 200,000 streams probably by tomorrow by itself, and it's only been out since like May. And yeah, like I'm like 6 weeks. And like I said, I don't have a, you know, $500,000 budget from Atlantic Records. You know, I have like you know, an eighth of that. So, you know, I'm working with what I got, but you know, if any labels are out there listening, I'm working my tail off, and I would love a little bit of help, because if I had some of you guys behind me, these numbers would be crazy. I'm not trying to sound, you know, arrogant or boisterous, but seriously, I'm working really hard, and you know, I really would love a shot, and I think I have a good image as well. You know, kind of a clean cut look, you know, but I also have that side of me where I could be a little aggressive if I have to. You know, on a, you know, if it's a harder type song, I could come with a hard flow. You know, I could come with that New York flow. If it's more of a melodic type song, like Keep Me Right, I can sing. So I kind of have two different flows. I have the singing flow, and then I have the, you know, the hardcore rap flow. And I feel like that you have to be versatile right now in the industry. I feel like you can't just have one sound, because you're not going to stand out. You got to be, and that's part of being a artist that grows is constantly constantly improving your sound and your creativity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and with our help at Paul Mash TV, I know I have helped some people, you know, get you know, a little bit exposed, I guess you could say, and so I'm hoping that this interview right here will help you get exposed a little more too. So so we'll see how that goes, I guess. So I think that's about all we really need, Nicholas. And I enjoyed having you on the show. You've been very good to talk to, and we'd love to have you back sometimes. We've had people come back a second time and plug some things, so maybe we'll have you back sometime.
Yeah, man, for sure, absolutely. I would love to. Anytime, anytime.
All righty. Well, let's play that song by Nicky right here, and we'll be right back.
It's dirty on my block. It's dirty on my block. It's dirty on my block. We shooting at the ops. I said it's dirty on my block. It's dirty on my block. It's dirty on my block. And we shooting at the ops. I said it's dirty on my block. It's dirty on my block. It's dirty on my block. And we shooting at the ops. I said it's dirty on my block. It's dirty on my block. It's dirty on my block. And we shooting at the ops.
Yeah, it's dirty on my Glock. Dirty in my Glock. Push on me, I'll pop. Hey, I shoot you out for free. I got the bean. Hey, pour me up the lean. Shorty fuck for free. Hell nah, bitch, I can't go for that. Shorty tryna fuck me up, bitch. Yeah, I get back. And she smack me, yeah, I pop. Baby, I'm a pop. Yeah, I'm up next. Yeah, I'm fucking with the D-Dots. Hey, nigga, I'm so clean with the ice. And look at me. Hey, shorty, what you mean? Yeah, I pouring up the lean. Hey, got a couple perkies. Now we fucking with the team. Push up on me. I'll shoot you with them beams. 2, 2, 3s. What you mean? Hey, y'all party round with the gang. What you mean? Hey, well, I wish you push up with that thing. You ain't me. Hey, look at me. Hey, yeah, I'm looking so clean. Hey, with a beam. Hey, 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 and it's dirty on my block.
It's dirty on my block. I said it's dirty on my block. It's dirty on my block. I said it's dirty on my block. It's dirty on my block. It's dirty on my block. I said we never gon' stop. It's dirty on my block. I got the hammer on deck, and we never gon' stop. Never talking to the cops. I ain't wanna hear his name. If he talking to the ops, chopping up our Bernies. Yeah, this shit'll never stop. Plus I got the new Bugatti, and this shit is kinda hot. And now I'm riding on your block, and we about to cop. If your deal don't go right, then you about to hear a pop. Now we laying on his knees, screaming stop. Bam, about to show him that I'm the man. All on this shit.
My niggas is starting shit, poppin' shit. Mama and niggas acting goofy, yeah, and they starting shit. Yeah, they pull up with a toolie and you shot your bitch. Oops, my bad, running with a whole bag. Shorty is a bag, but I'm really about to get that. Yeah, I got a fat ass, yeah, I got a big bag. Shorty wanna fuck on me, cause baby, I just do that. Ice up on my wrist, hold up, I got ice up on my wrist. And then I got dirty money, new money, I got old money. Hoes only on me, ayy. And it's dirty on my block, dirty on my block. I say it's dirty on my block. That's dirty in my Glock. That's dirty in my Glock. Dirty in my Glock. Hey, why we do my shot? Ayy,
feathers on my head, 2 can't sim. Hit that bop bop bop, and then they go and scream. I said, shorty is a bad bitch, I might just go ham. 40 on the waist, rollie on the wrist. Plus I stay in shape and I'm down for my click. I'm cool with shooting hands, getting paper is the plan. When I pull up with the gang, we look like Taliban. Better go and block her, and then they gonna chop her. And then I wanna hit him in his face and at the yapper. Damn, this is hot, and damn, this is hot. We killing on this beat, put the fire on our block. I said, dirty on my block. I said it's dirty on my block. It's dirty on my block. I said we never gon' stop. It's dirty.